students for grade 7 maths class of St. Peter's College, Colombo, Nikampur branch. So today our lesson is Unit 12, Algebraic Expressions. So I hope this lesson is somewhat new for you all. So in algebraic expressions, what we are going to learn is forming expressions which have unknown terms. Okay, so when we are discussing about algebraic expressions, first of all you should know what an algebraic expression is. So algebraic expressions are the expressions formed with some variables and some constant values, maybe some numbers. Okay, so in here you all can see I have taken an example here, 3x plus 5. So here you can see some numbers are there, 3 and 5 are numbers, and this x is a variable, which means not a number, it's a letter, and here you have the plus mark. So an expression means where you have some numbers, right, as well as unknown number, unknown letter, this is x, and also those terms may be added, sometimes it may be subtraction. So those terms linked with these algebraic operations, maybe addition, maybe subtraction. So those types of expressions are called as algebraic expressions. So here there are some terms that you should remember here. Okay. So an algebraic expression is formed by a combination of variables and constant obtained by the algebraic operations. So in this example, right, so this is the unknown number. No number is given there. It's represented using a capital, using a simple letter of the English alphabet. You can't use capital letters in algebraic expressions, right? So this is the unknown number, right? That is the unknown number. Or we call it as the variable as well. This is the unknown number, right? Or you can call it as the variable. It can change. Variable means a value which can change, right? And then this is the variable. Right. And then you can see a number next to the variable or the unknown number, right? It is both are multiplied. 3 multiplied by x will give you 3x. So always the multiplier of this variable will become the coefficient. That means 3 will become the coefficient. Is the coefficient, always that is the number which is multiplied by the variable, and this is just a number, so it does not change, it's a number, there's a value for that number, so we call it as a constant. Constant means a value which will not change, so this is a constant, right? And this is the algebraic operation, that is addition. So in here these types of formation can be defined as an algebraic expression. So here there are two terms. The terms are 3x, both 3 and x will form a term, as well as 5 will form another term. So both terms are added, forming an algebraic expression. So what you have to remember here is what is the coefficient and what is the variable, which means the unknown term, right? And there are some constants in an expression. Maybe the numbers, okay? Right, here you are given a table for you to identify the unknown constant or the unknown variable, that is represented using the simple letter, and also you should identify the terms given in the expression. Right, so the first one, you are given the example here, a divided by 2 plus 5. So here the variable, or we call it as the unknown term is a, and there are two terms in this expression. The first term is a divided by 2 and the second term is 5. Okay, so those are the two terms given. And when you look at the second one, what is the unknown term? Unknown value or the variable is p, right? And then the two terms are p divided by 4 3 divided by 4, and the other term is minus 8. Okay, other term is minus 8. And then the next one, here you have the unknown value or the variable is x. Unknown variable is the x, and there are two terms, x divided by 5, x divided by 5, and next term is 10. Next term is 10. Right, last one, there also you have two terms, 25 separately, y plus y divided by 3 separately. So the unknown is here y. So the two terms are 25 and y over 3. And if you look at the mathematical operation in between the terms, here it will be addition, subtraction, addition, addition. Right, now what we are going to do is to construct algebraic expression. Now if we are given a certain incident, by looking at that we are going to develop an expression with some unknown terms. That means we don't know some numbers, so therefore we are going to build up an expression. So here we are given, write an algebraic expression for the price of 3 apples if the price of 1 apple is A rupees. So the value is not known. We don't know the amount, that the price in rupees. So you have to consider that as A, which is the unknown, right? Think that the price of 1 apple is A rupees, right? You have such 3 apples. So if you are to develop an expression for this in terms of A, since you don't know the price, you have to develop an expression in terms of A. So there are 3 apples. 1 apple costs A rupees. 1 apple costs A rupees. 3 such apples are there. So finally you can build out the expression as A into 3. We can take it as 3A. So here the coefficient will become 3. That means the multiplier of the variable is 3. So this is a way of forming algebraic expressions. So here we have only one term, right? This is not an expression, but here you have only one term, that is 3a, coefficient 3, and the variable is a. Right, here also we have to construct an algebraic expression. So here the length of a table is given, right? Length of a table is given in terms of k. That means, think of a table like this, right? So the length, think that this is the length, right? It is given as k centimeters more than 2 meters. That means, children, k plus 2. K centimeters more than 2 meters. K is given in centimeters while 2 is given in meters. Two different units. K centimeters more than 2, which means k plus 2, but they are in 2 different units, so you can't add them since they are in 2 different units. So you have to make them into a single unit, and then you have to express the length of the table in centimeters. You have to express it in centimeters, right? So if you are to add, you have to add both, right? K plus 2. This is in centimeters, k is in centimeters, while 2 is in meters. You have to keep the answer in centimeters. So you know that 1 meter equals 100 centimeters, right? You know that 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. Using this relationship, 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. Using this relationship, we are going to substitute 2. 2 meters means there you have 200 centimeters, right? So here this also in centimeters, but you should know in an expression we don't represent units, right? In an expression we don't represent units, so we have to keep it like this, k plus 200. So this is the answer. We can't represent units in an expression. Right, part 2, there you have to express the width of the table in terms of A. You have to express the width of the table in terms of a k, but here they have given the width of the table is 50 centimeters less than its length. Now we have already built up an expression for length. So from this answer, from this expression, you have to subtract 50 centimeters in order to find the width of the table. So using this, we can build up the second equation, that is from k plus 200. This is the total length. From this, right, you have to subtract 50. From this expression, you have to subtract 50, so you will get the width of the table. So this is the way of constructing algebraic expressions. Always what you should remember here is you can't put units, right, and always simple letters should be used in an expression. Right, another one, here you are given the price of a box of pencils containing 12 pencils is X rupees. In a box of pencils, there you have 12 pencils, right? So think there are 12 pencils in this box, right? So the price of the total box, that means not the single pen, it's not the price of a single pen. The price of the box is X rupees. Pencil box is X rupees, right? So you have to find the price of one pencil. So you know that altogether there are 12 pencils inside the box which cost X rupees. So that is 12 is for X. Like this, 12 pencils cost X rupees. 12 pencils cost X rupees. You have to build up an expression for the price of one pencil. Right? You have to build up an expression for the price of one pencil. That is what you have to do. The total value should be divided by the number of pencils inside the box. That means expression will be X over 12. X is the total amount, 12 is the number of pencils. So you have to divide, then you will get the price of one pencil. And then second part, if the price of an eraser is 10 rupees, write the amount of money required to buy 2 pencils. Now think of the same question. Second part, you have 2 pencils. Now you already found the value of 1 pencil. X over 2 is the price of 1 pencil. But now you are going to buy 2 such pencils plus an eraser. Right? You are going to buy 2 pencils and an eraser. So you have to build up an expression for the total amount of money that you are going to pay in order to buy these 2 items. Right? So when you are buying them, what will be the total that you are going to pay? You know the price of 1 pencil is X over 2. So you have to find for 2 pencils. So what you have to do? So 2 pencils, the price will be 2 pencils, the price will be X over 12 should be multiplied by 2. Right? You have 2 pencils. This price of 1 should be multiplied by 2. And already they have given the value of an eraser. The value of the eraser is already given as 10 rupees. Okay? So what you have to do in order to find the total? Total means addition. Right? So you have to add both expressions and form an expression. Both terms should be added in order to form an expression. That means like this. X into 2 we can take it as 2x over 12 or we can cut it. But I am going to take it as 2x over 12. 2x over 12 is the price of 1 pencil. Sorry, 2 pencils, and then this is the price of an eraser. So this is the expression. This is the first term, second term, both the terms are added and forms the expression. Here we can divide, we can simplify this like this. 2 divided by 12, see x over 6 can also be taken like this. X over 6 plus 10, or you can leave the answer like this. Since just you are constructing, you can leave the answer like this also. Right, now you are given some expressions for you to write them in words. Now if you are to describe, earlier you were given description by reading that you constructed the expression. But here expression is given for you to write the way that you are going to read it. How to read that expression, right? So here we can write it like this. If A is the value that is going to denote, right? If A is the value that is going to denote, right? Here 2 times A. Not 1A, here you have 2 times A and plus 8 is there. So if the value represented is A, then we can write it in words as, right? We can write it as 8 more than, right? 8. This whole total expression will denote 8 more than 2 times 8. 8 more than the value of 2 times 8. So we can write it like this. 8 more than means addition. 8 more than the value of 2 times 8. 2 times 8 plus 8. So this is a way of expressing an expression in words. So you all can do the rest also like this. Right? So this is 50 less. It's subtraction. It was addition here, so that's why I used the word more. Since it is subtraction, you can use 50 less than thrice of or 3 times x, like that. Okay, 50 less than the value of 3 times x. Likewise, you all can write this in words. And look at the third one. Third one can be expressed like, here the number is at first. 5p is subtracted. So how can you write? First of all, you have to write this term. 5 times p. The value of 5 times p less than 20. Okay, or subtract. You can use the word subtract as well. 5p subtract 20 can also be written, or else you can write the value of 5 times p less than minus, so less than 20. 20 minus 5p. Okay, here you can see a fraction, right? X over 2, that means half of x. So here you can build up the expression in words like 14 more than, since it is plus, right? More than 14, I will write that like this. 14 more than the value of 14 more than the value of half x, right? You have x divided by 2, which means half of x, right? So 14 more than the value of half x. So this is the way. So likewise, you can write the last one also, that is subtraction. So you can write 3y or 1/3 of y, right? Here you can see y divided by 3. So you can write it's 1/3. Here it's half, here 1/3. So 1/3 of y less than 45. 1/3 of y less than 45. So this is the way of writing an expression in words. Right, we'll move to constructing algebraic expressions in detail. That means earlier you had only one variable or one unknown term. But here now what we are going to do is to construct algebraic expressions with two unknown terms or two variables. Right, look at the example given here. The price of a pen is X rupees and the price of an eraser is Y rupees. Okay, price of one pen, you have one pen which costs X rupees. Okay, and then price of one eraser which costs Y rupees. We don't know the value. That's what you call as the unknown. Since we don't know the value of one pencil and an eraser, you are given a letter which represent the unknown value, right? Which is the variable, it can change. So here, now you have to build up an expression for the price of 5 pens and 6 erasers. Now you are not going to buy only one, you are going to buy 5 pens, okay? 5 pens. So you should know if one pen is X, 5 pens will be what? 1x times 5. If one pen is X and you are going to buy 5 such pens, so you can take it as what? 5x. And then you are going to buy 6 erasers. You are going to buy 6 erasers. So one eraser costs Y rupees. You are going to buy 6 such erasers, which means 6y. Now students, here you have to 6y, right? Now here you have to get the total. You are going to buy both of them, 6 erasers and 5 pencils. So that is the total amount that you are going to pay when you are buying those two items. So you have to add them. That's right. Here you have two unknowns. So final expression will be 5x plus 6y. 5x plus 6y altogether will give you the total of the amount that you need in order to buy those two items. So here you can see two unknown terms are there. What are they? Two unknown terms are there. The first unknown is x, second unknown is y. So even in an algebraic expression, there can be two unknowns. Earlier we discussed only an expression, only expressions with one unknown. So here it can take either two, sometimes it might be more than two unknowns. Right, so one more question. You have two unknowns here, right? So we'll read the question. There are x number of Sinhala books and y number of English books in a school library, and then, right, altogether Sinhala books x, y English books are there, and then half the Sinhala books and half the English books are literature books. Okay, so I'm going to write it in brief like this. Half Sinhala books. Sinhala books are x. There are x number of Sinhala books and y number of English books. So I'm going to show you half of that amount. Half of that amount, right? Half of Sinhala books. If total number of books are x, half of that will be how much? X over 2. If the total number of books are x, half of that will be x over 2. Likewise, half English books. Half of English books. I'm going to find the term with the unknown. Half of English books. So, the number of English books in the library are y, and now we are going to talk only about half. Half means y divided by 2. So these number of books, half of these books are literature books. Okay, these are literature books. That means addition of these two. Once you add both, that will give you the number of literature books. And then total number of literature books present in the school library. And think that the library has issued 23 Sinhala literature books. Library has issued 23, right? 23 Sinhala literature books and 18 English literature books. 23 plus 18. Plus 18, right? 23 and 18 English literature books. And then what you have to do? Half of Sinhala books are x over 2 and half of English books are y divided by 2. Y divided by 2. So this is the total number of books that are the literature books present in the library. So you have to find the number of literature books remaining in the library. So this is the total number of literature books. Total literature books. Total literature books present inside the library. Right? And then 23 and 18 books are already issued from this. From this total, 23 and 18 has been issued already. So you have to find the remaining books, literature books remaining in the library. So what you have to do, right? So find the remaining. Now you have to find the number of issued books. So let's find the total number of books issued, right? Let's find books issued. That is the literature books, right? Books issued. Literature books issued, right? It should be literature books issued. Will be the addition of 23 and 18. 23 and 18 is the addition that is issued. So one remaining. So 41 books are issued. 41 books are issued. So you have to find the remaining. Now this is the total. From this total, what you have to do? You have to subtract this amount in order to find the remaining. So this is the total number of books. X over 2 plus. You have to add, right? Y over 2. This is the total number of books present in the school library. From this books, right? So you all can put the bracket in Y to represent the total. You have to add both of them. That's why I put the bracket here to show that the addition. You have to add it, and then from that total amount you have to subtract 41 which is issued, and that will give you the answer. We can't solve it. That's what we call as an expression here. Since you have two unknowns here, x, y, two unknowns are there, so we can't simplify this. This is just an expression using this. Okay. Right. So here are also some expressions given for you to write it in words. Like the previous one we did. Previous we had only one unknown. Now here we have two unknowns. So let's see how we can write these expressions in words. Right. Same manner we can write 5 times y. Right. 5 times y. Add 5 times y. Write it like this. Add the value of 5 times y. Add the value of 5 times y to 3 times x, to the value of 3 times x. Okay, add the value of 5 times y to the value of 3 times x. So likewise, you all can write these expressions also in words. So let's say I will help you how to write these words also. So you have, here it's addition, right? That's why we wrote it as addition. Now it's not addition, it's subtraction mark, minus mark. So in here you have to write it as subtract the value of 7 times b from, it's not 2 now, from the value of 2 times a. Again, subtract, okay? Subtract the value of 7 times b from 2 times a. Okay. Subtract the value of 7 times b from the value of 2 times a. So likewise you all can write it in words. Last one, there you have both addition and subtraction. So you can write the first part at first, and then later the other part can be joined to the sentence. So like this. Subtract y from the value of value of 1 over 4, which means the quarter. 1 over 4 can be taken as quarter. Subtract the value of y from 1/4 of x and add 5. Likewise, you can continue the other part by joining the third term. Subtract the value of y from the value of 1/4 of x, and then you can add 5. Okay, let's move to simplifying algebraic terms, right? Simplify. Now earlier we only constructed the algebraic expressions, but here now we are going to simplify algebraic expressions in detail, right? So before simplifying algebraic expressions, you should have an idea about like terms and unlike terms. So what are like terms? Now, for example, I'll take like this. Like terms are the terms where you have only same unknown term. Now for example like this, x plus 3x. Think of an expression like this. So here there are two terms in the expression, but both terms are in terms of x. Here also x, here also a number with a x term. So those terms are called as like terms where you have the same variable or the same unknown term. But unlike terms are the terms where you have different unknown values, different unknowns, different variables like this x plus 2y. So you can see the difference here. There you have two unknowns x, y. Sometimes there might be two. So here this example, second example, look at this, x plus 2y minus b plus 3b. So there you can see like terms also there, like terms are also there, but unlike terms are also there. So these two will become like terms while these two will become unlike terms. So in like terms also you can take an example like this. So think of an example like this. There you have two different terms, but at the same time you have like terms. 4a and plus a are like terms, while b and 3b are like terms. But you have two different terms, but you can simplify it since you have two like terms there. So those are called as like terms and unlike terms. So what you have to keep it in your mind here is, you can simplify like terms more. That means if you consider this example, we can simplify it more. 4a plus a, both are same. So we can add, since it is addition, 4a plus 1a. You don't have any number coefficient there, that means 1. So 4a plus 1 will give you 5a. We can simplify like terms like this. X plus 3x can be simplified as 4x. But unlike terms cannot be simplified like that. We can't add because they are in two different terms. So here also you can see minus b plus 3b. So you can, two different signs, so you can get the difference, that is 2b, right? And you have to put the sign of the large number. Likewise, you can simplify like terms more, but unlike terms cannot be simplified. So you have two examples here with like terms as well as unlike terms. So let's see how we can simplify these types of algebraic expressions. So here there are many terms, right? Two different unknown terms are there. K, right? 3k. So if you look at the k terms, there's another k term there. So you can add them since they are like terms. So I can take them closer and write like this. Or you can simplify it at one step also. So 3k plus k can be taken since they are like terms. And I'm going to take L terms. This 5L, right? Plus 5L. There's another term in terms of L, that is 4L plus 4L. And there are two numbers. They are not algebraic terms, they are just numbers or constants. So we can take them at last, plus 10 minus 5. So as I told earlier, we can simplify like terms and get the answer. So 3k plus k, altogether there are 4k's, and then this is also addition, so you can add them as 9l, and here opposite sign, so you have to subtract and get the answer 10 minus 5, 5. So this is the last simplest answer that we can obtain. We can't simplify it more by three different terms. This is in terms of k, this is in terms of l, and this is just a number, so we can't simplify it. And another example here, same manner we can simplify 8x plus x. Now I am not going to write this step, I am going to obtain the answer directly without writing this step, okay? 8x plus x answer is 9x. And let's now go for terms with y, right? So y terms are minus 4y plus 7y. So you know, if the signs are different, always you have to subtract and put the sign of the large number. So once you subtract, 7 minus 4 will give you 3y. Large number is 7, sign of 7 is plus. And the remaining terms are the numbers. Minus 11 plus 13, again signs are different. So you have to subtract and put the sign of the large number. 13 is large, so it will become positive. 13 minus 11 answer is 2. So this is the final answer. We can't simplify it more. X, y, and this is the number. Right, so here you are given two figures for you to construct an algebraic expression for the perimeter. Now you know what perimeter is. Perimeter means the total length around a figure. So if you have to find the perimeter, what you have to do? You have to add all the lengths. So when you are adding all the lengths, so if I am to represent perimeter using capital P, right? Perimeter means addition of all three. So I can write an expression by adding all these. That means 2p starting from one side, I am going to add 2p plus 4 plus 2p plus 3x, the remaining side. So once you add all, it will give you the perimeter. But you can see at this moment you can simplify it more because you have some like terms. So if you have like terms, 2p can be added and write it as 4p, and then you can't add these two. This is just a number and this is in terms of x. You can't add it and put 7. 4 should be written separately. It's just a number. These are algebraic terms. So this is the expression. This is the expression that can be developed with the perimeter of this triangle. And there's another figure. Now these types of figures can be, you know that these types of figures can be arranged as a rectangle like this. You can extend it. I can extend this side like this, and I can extend this side like this. So it forms a rectangular in shape. So now it's easy for us to find the perimeter. So perimeter means the addition of all four sides. So if this side is x plus 4, you know the side opposite to that will also have x plus 4. If this is y plus 1, this side also will become y plus 1. Otherwise, if it is in the previous manner, it's difficult for us to find the perimeter. Now it is easy. You can find the perimeter by adding all four sides. Starting from one side, x plus 4. There's another x plus 4. So let's add. And there's another side, y plus 1. And another y plus 1. So if you take like terms separately, altogether there are x, 2 x terms are there, x plus x, 2x, and take the y terms separately, y, altogether there are 2 y's, so add them, that is 2y. And now finally you have to add all the numbers. So when you consider the numbers, what are the numbers? 4, 4, 1, 1. So 4 plus 4, 8, and with that 1 and 1 it will give you 10. So this is the final expression that we can develop, that will become the final answer since you have 3 different terms. Okay. Right, now we are moving to the last part of the lesson, that is substitution. Now earlier it was just an expression, so we couldn't get a final answer, a value. You couldn't get a value. But substitution means you are going to replace an unknown term using a number. Okay, you are going to replace an unknown term or the variable using a number given. They ask you to replace that using any number, so you have to replace using that number. So once you substitute that term using the number given, you will be able to get an answer for the expression. Right? We'll see how we can substitute algebraic expressions. Right. So first one, find the value of the expression 6x minus 5y when x equals 7 and y equals 3. You are given an algebraic expression with 2 unknown terms. There are 2 unknown terms. They are x and y. 6x, 5y. This is the first term and this is the second term. Subtraction is there. So 2 different terms. Now they ask you to replace x using 7 and y using 3. They have given you certain numbers for you to replace. Now what you are going to do in the next step is, instead of 6, right, here you have 5 and minus is also there. But instead of 6, now I am going to replace the number that they have asked. So they have asked you to replace it using 7. And you know the operation in between 6 and x is multiplication. So here also 5 into, now y will take the value of 3. So likewise you can substitute or replace this unknown term using the numbers. So that's what you call as substitution. So let's multiply. 7 times 6 will give you 42. 42 minus, right, 5 times 3, 15. have to subtract. Answer is 27. Okay, so that's what substitution means. There's another example given. Right, let's see how we can substitute. Right. 2p plus k minus 5. Right, they have asked you to replace 6 using p using 6 and k using the number given as 2. So you have to write the other numbers, that is 2, I'm not going to change, right, and then now instead of p you have to write 6, okay, and then plus, instead of k you have to write 2 and 5 is there already from the equation, from the expression. Now you don't have any unknowns, you have just only numbers, so you can obtain an answer. 2 times 6 answer is 12, and here you have plus 2 and minus 5. So you can add and then subtract, okay, or subtract and then add, you can do it. So here 12 minus 2 answer is 14, so 14 minus 5, so you have to get the answer. So that's what you mean by substitution. So what you have to remember here is you always have to replace only the number that they have asked, and also you can see a value is obtained. Now when you are doing algebraic expressions construction, you can't obtain an answer, but here once you replace, so once you substitute, you will get an answer. So that's what substitution means. Right, so now here you are given a paragraph, you have to read it and you have to construct an algebraic expression and you have to solve it, okay. Altogether you have to, all the applications are there, you have to construct and to solve. And here you are given a father's age is 35 years at the time his son was born, right. You have to write the age of father when his son is X years old. Father's age is 35 and son's age is X years. Now you know, for you to find the age of father when the son's age is X years, what you have to do? You have to add. Father's age is 35, right? Think now before the child was born, right? At the time he was born, it's 35. Once the child is X years, now here the unknown term is X. We don't know the age of son. So think that as X. So when the son's age is X, what will be the age of father? It will be 35 plus X. That means you have to add the value of the child or the son to the value to the age of father. And then second one, the mother is 4 years younger to father, right? So we already know now father's age is 35, right? But here you have to write the mother's age in terms of X, right? You can't just subtract and get the answer. We know that 35 minus 4 will give you 31. Okay, 35, 4 years younger, so father is 35. 35 minus 4 will give you 31 years. So that this is the age of the mother. But that's not what they have asked here. You have to express in terms of X. That means what you have to do when son is X years old. So this is the age of father when son is X years old. So from this expression you have to subtract 4. So you have now X in terms of X. Expression is now in terms of X. Okay. Father's age this is the age of father when son was born, and then this was the mother's age when son was having the age of X. Last one, you have to find how many years older is the mother than the son. So how old? It's 4 years. It's 31 years. How many years older is the mother than the son? So even you can solve it like this, or else you can directly get the answer. So here you have 35 plus X minus 7. So this is the age of mother. This is the age of mother. And now you are going to find when the son was how old? How old is mother than the son? So what you have to do, you have to subtract the age of son. In order to find the age gap, you have to subtract the age of son. So what is the age of son? That is x. Right? You can subtract x. So you can see x and x will cancel because we are going to subtract the age of son. So 35 minus 4 will give you 31. So age gap between mother and the son. Age gap between mother and the son will be 31 years old. When the son was born, age of mother is 31 years old. 31 years old. So this is the way of constructing expressions and also simplifying expressions. So that's the end of our lesson. So in this lesson mainly we discuss about constructing expressions and substitution part. So once you substitute an expression, you will get a value for the expression. So you are going to study this lesson in detail in grade 8 and 9. Okay, so that's only part for your grade. So hope to meet you with another lesson in a video. Thank you.